All right, Sean, we got Uber. You use Uber?
Yeah, or Lyft.
Okay, yeah. You use Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that?
Yeah, Uber Eats sometimes. Actually, I mostly use Lyft. To be honest, I don't really
To
know
use
why.
to deliver food. Do you deliver food too?
Lyft?
Yeah,
No.
no. But for like delivering food, using it that.
Yeah, or DoorDash.
Uh, yeah, no Uber. I do like that Uber is like all one, right? Like it's Uber and Uber Eats. Like I think that was a no-brainer for them. Good job, whoever thought about that on their end to make it just one company. Like
Yeah.
I don't like using different companies. So if I can avoid that and just use one, I like that when companies do that. Yeah, I like Uber. Uber's good. They did it. I remember originally they were a little higher, and then they found out about Lyft, and Lyft was charging. So they're like, okay, cool, we'll just charge less too.
Well,
Um,
that was sort of the race to the bottom. Now it's kind of the opposite. And I think Uber, in my experience, has been more expensive, at least
yeah,
in our area.
but it's more reliable. Like
Hmm.
when it comes to that, I feel like it is a better brand. Like that could be just my opinion. Um, you usually pretty accurate in their times and everything. They don't have people canceling. So yeah, I like Uber. As far as the company goes, let's take a look at it real quick. This is one of those. 2019. That's when it was just like the beginning. 2018, 17 was the beginning of companies IPOing. A lot of times IPOing what the number should have been 5 years later. Um, and it was accepted by investors across the board. And then it came down and it rose again, and now it's back down to they went down to 21. Now it's 29. So we're starting to see the price that it should have been when it IPO'd. Still worth 52 billion or 57 billion. What are your thoughts about this?
You know, they might be in a better position. It might be in a better position to buy the stock than at any time previously. I mean, this was seen as, one of those unprofitable tech companies. It was basically being bankrolled by VC and, offering cheap rides. And, so I think they've upped their prices. And so I think they're making more money now. One issue that I don't know if it's been totally resolved yet is the status of whether the drivers are employees or
Yeah,
because they keep getting hit with these
yeah. So I
lawsuits
think
and labor action.
eventually you're just gonna have autonomous cars picking people up, and I
Well,
think
if that, then what do you need Uber or Lyft for? On the other hand,
because
because
they have the platform.
they do, but then couldn't you just have an autonomous vehicle of your own that drives you around? Put them
So
out of business.
I think yeah. So but like now, right? Why do you have people buying cars? It just people don't always need a car. It would just be a rental car place. Like you're gonna have a rental. Like the idea what that is, you're gonna have people lifting you around. Like not everybody's gonna be able to afford an autonomous car. An autonomous car is gonna be expensive. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a couple hundred probably. For if you ask me, it's probably worth it. But
It's probably that's not coming anytime soon either because of
no,
the liability issues
it's
and
not coming anytime soon because you still have regular drivers, and that's the problem. Like it's not these autonomous cars that are the problem. Is people running red lights
yeah.
and people running or walking across a red light. So that's been usually a problem when people get killed by Teslas or another autonomous cars. It's the other people breaking the law.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're probably decades away from that, from even like just 2% of the population having autonomous cars. But in any event, these companies are gonna buy these expensive cars because it's gonna be it's a lot cheaper than having an employee.
Yeah.
So
When the time comes, but again, I think we're a ways away from that. You think how does it look? What do you think? Would you buy Uber?
uh look how it's going. It looks like it's trending the way. Look at it.
Yeah,
So
it's
they're
trending in the right.
increasing revenues. We always talk about that. Look at this number first before you even look at the profit or anything. Because if it's going down, then it's a red flag. But these are trending up. They're making money, and you got to appreciate a company that's bringing in more money than yesterday, today.
Yeah, they're still losing. money though.
because because they're expanding. They're expanding. They're having it's expensive to
2.6 billion.
it's expensive to run these kind of companies, right?
Oh.
When you thought about glamorous companies or companies that were growing, you weren't thinking about Yellow Cab growing.
Right.
You weren't thinking like, oh, they must be a powerful company, this Yellow Cab.
Well, and their stock's down because they reduced the earnings forecast in the short to middle term, but they expect it will rebound by 2023. So between now and the end of the year could be a good buying opportunity if you were interested in buying Uber. There's some potential upside, I think, on that. But do I buy it? I don't think so. Personally.
Yeah, I think it's borderline shipping company. Like all you're doing is shipping people and shipping food. Right?
Mhm.
So you're competing not only with the Yellow Cab services, you're also competing with UPS, FedEx, and other express companies.
Not to mention DoorDash.
Yeah.
You know.
And those type of companies, like you're just trying to be the cheapest service. I know sometimes when you order food with Uber Eats, it can get expensive. Like,
oh yeah.
You start questioning, should I just walk over to the nearest deli instead of paying the $10 surplus to deliver? So it doesn't make sense. You're trying to send that food somewhere else, but other times I don't know if it makes sense. So as an industry wide and not just Uber example, like the question for me is, do I invest in a company like Uber or DoorDash or any other kind of shipping company? And I just don't see a cheap route yet. Like it's not cheap to deliver food. People are paying for gas and people have to actually drive. So I think until we can figure out a way to have, first of all, to the energy aspect of finding cheap energy where to charge a car is cheap and not the same price as filling up the gas, because to charge a car it's almost expensive as gas sometimes. So when you find a cheaper route where that part of the energy is kind of free, and then like you don't have to pay a driver to actually pick it up, then we're good. Then you got my
yeah. If you just get rid of their overhead, then maybe they're a good maybe they're a good company.
Yeah.
That's true for probably every company.
Until then, okay. So if we're like, before I look at to buy stock on Uber or DoorDash, I'm gonna look and see how close are we with autonomous cars. They already have them in San Francisco, testing them out. LA too. You see the car itself driving, and then you see like a passenger on the side.
I think that's. I mean, I've read some talk about that, the autonomous vehicles and how's that gonna. I mean, it could put them out of business. It could help with the bottom line. I think we're still too far away for even be talking about that from that actually occurring. How is this company going to make money? Their top line's going in the right direction, but they're not making a profit, which is not good right now. So I've been cautious to look at buying unprofitable tech, especially unprofitable tech companies. So I would pass on Uber, but I do think they're going in the right direction.
Yeah, you heard my take on it. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I think we're probably 3 to 5 years away from even like having. I know Tesla already has autonomous cars, but I'm talking about like
widespread,
non-driver, like zero drivers in it, and just having a car, and the DMV being okay with it, or the Department of Transportation being okay with it, like being okay with zero drivers there, and people are actually just like, car pulls up to your driveway, you pick up your food, car leaves, goes to the restaurant, does that, and again, it not having to spend, or the company's not having to spend too much money on either gas or energy. So we might be 5 years away.
Might be sooner than we think.
Yeah.
At which point, yeah, I mean, the bottom line's gonna
exactly
blow up at that point.